Hi there. I'm looking forward to showing you guys how to do the axle today. You can see it up here on the screen, and it does have a little slot through the front of it, so that'll be the last thing we do to take care of that. And then you'll see all the little dimensions, and I will say it is a little tedious, but you got to just hang in there. And I made it easy for you. I put in all the dimensions other than this one right here, which is down here at 0.06. You may want to make this a little bit larger so that you can see it on your screen. So let me go ahead and just slide this over to my other monitor. There we go, so I can see it better. And so I can use it as a reference so I know what in the world I'm doing. So let's go ahead. I opened up Autodesk Inventor. We're going to go with New, English, and Standard, and Create. Again, we are going to use the Revolve tool, so we'll want an axis to work around. So we'll go to 2D Sketch, XY Plane, and I am going to do another construction line. We'll just do a line like this, and we'll just put it across here. It doesn't really matter how long it is. The main thing is that you have a place to work off of and revolve around. So this is at a little over 2 inches. Click, and we're good with that. And so we do want to remember to take off the construction line so that the next lines we make will be object lines. So the first line I think I would encourage you to make, we'll just go right here, click, and we'll want to make that, what did I say, 0.06 if I remember correctly, 0.06, and then hit enter, and then escape. Now it is very, very important that you get these dimensions exactly right. If they're slightly off, it's going to, the whole thing, the rest of it's going to be off. So you want everything to be exactly right. So it's tedious and you have to be precise. So we'll just keep working with it. That turns green. You got to make sure it turns green to go straight up. It's got to be 90 degrees. And that dimension is 0.095. And enter and escape. There we go. And we'll go right here. It turns green. And that dimension is 0.33. And hit enter and escape. So we've got that long one right there. And then we'll go straight up from there. Whoop, it's got to be right at 90 degrees. And that's 0.03. And hit enter and escape. 0.03. You can always double check your numbers. Goes over this way. 0.05 at 0 degrees and enter. So we've got 0.05, and then it's got to go up from there, 0.02. So 0.02, and then hit enter and escape. And you can double check and make sure everything is just exactly the way you want it to be. And so far, so good. And then we'll take and make a line. Make sure it turns green and you go straight across. So that's going to be 180 degrees. The distance of that line needs to be 0.37 and hit enter and escape. And now I am going to slide the object over. You'll notice that this line is slightly shorter than that line, and that is actually what you want. So it turns green, we'll go straight up 90 degrees, and that needs to be 0.055, and then hit enter and escape, which is good, 0.055, and then we'll go over 0.07, go over this way, 180 degrees, 0.07, and that should be good. And we'll go with escape on that. Yep, that looks good. And then we will want to go down from that point. Turns green, you go straight down 90 degrees. and that needs to be 0.05 and enter. And that is where we're going to stop going in that direction, because from here to the other point is a slight angle, and we're just going to construct the rest of it so we don't have to figure out that angle. It'll just be point to point, whatever it is. So we're going to come back to this line and build off of that. Turns green, goes straight up, and 90 degrees. And that needs to be 0.095 like the other side. So those are parallel and equal distance. And then we're going to go from this point straight out here at 180 degrees. And that needs to be 0.19, 180 degrees, hit enter and escape. That's good, making progress. And we're going to go straight up 90 degrees, and that's 0.03, and hit enter and escape. Make sure that each time you start a line, it's on the green dot, because if it isn't, it's not going to work later on. And then you'll have to start over, which is not the end of the world, but you may not want to do it after all the hard work you put in. Okay, so this one is going to be 0.25 and hit escape. And I'm going to kind of slide this over. So if that's 0.25, so that's 1/4 of an inch. And then we're going to go up 0.025. There we go, straight up, and that's going to be 0.025. Hit enter and escape. And then we are going to want to go to the right. Let's see, 0.05 and hit enter and escape. And then we are going to want to go down a tiny little bit. So make sure it's at 90 degrees and then type in 0.01 and then hit enter. Now that's going to be, it should look like this at this point. And now what we want to do is to make a line go from dot to dot, if you will. So make sure it turns green here. Yep. And then make sure it turns green here. And click on that. Happens to be 1.47 degrees. But we really don't care about that because we've constructed the rest of it correctly. And you just need to go dot to dot. Now, if you made any mistakes in any of these measurements, then this wouldn't work. And so you just need to be very, very careful to not make any mistakes. Easier said than done, right? But that is part of technical drawing. This is a simple drawing compared to some. Okay, so we are going to use the revolve. Now it's already made its choice that this is going to be the profile. It's looking over here for the axis, so click on that. Wow. And then click OK, and you can see that you have made this axle piece. And that's pretty sweet. The only other thing we need to do is cut the groove in that axle piece. And I want to show you something quickly. What we're actually making is this piece right here that is stuck into the wood on this little car. And then the wheel just slides right over it. We actually did the wheel part, and I think we may have done I don't know if we did the tire part or not. But either way, just wanted to show you that quickly. So now let's go ahead and work on getting that groove cut into it. And so we'll want to create a sketch right there. Sometimes it helps if you make it a little bit bigger. It's easier to choose. So you create a sketch right there. Click, and then create a sketch. Okay, and then you go up to rectangle, and you have different types of rectangles. This is the one we normally use, but you can choose this 2-point center rectangle. That's the one we want to use right now. And so we'll click at the center right there, and then you'll make it go outside of the circles, and then we'll want to hit tab, and then we'll want to put in, let's see, what was that? I think it was 0.04. Let me just hit escape here. I want to get the right dimension on this. Yeah, it's 0.04. I would have gotten it right. Want to make sure. So click here, drag it over there, make sure it's bigger, hit tab, go 0.04, tab, and then hit enter and escape. And what we're going to do is just cut that slot right out of there. So we're going to finish the sketch. And we are going to extrude. See, it wants to go out that way, but we want it to cut. But we don't want it to cut a whole inch. We want it to cut 0.20, so it doesn't cut as far. And you can see if we just turn it around what that's going to look like, and then click OK. And that is all there is to it. That is the axle. Now it's not going to go all the way through because we started right on the axis, but this is what it'll look like when you're done, if everything is exactly right. Okay, so then let's go up to default. Let's see what we've got here to choose from. Oh, what's this? Cayenne. There we go. That looks pretty cool. All right, awesome. I think that looks really neat. I haven't used that one before. Looks great. So then you come up here, and then the fourth one over, and we're going to save it as axle and save. And that should do it for us. I hope that makes sense. Of course, if you have questions, happy to help. Have a fantastic day. You take care now. Bye.